Yo, and welcome back to Tales of Ark. And if you're enjoying the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. But anyways, back to some Halo 2 Anniversary Edition Master Chief Collection. I'm here with the final episode with the Halo 2 Anniversary All Terminals reaction. This is from No Commentary. I'll leave a link to their channel down below. You should go watch it and give it a like so they can get the views too. But yeah, so before I start watching, it's what I know. I feel like most of it's gonna be about the Arbiter and his backstory, maybe. Because to me, Halo 2 feels like to be fair, I had more fun in Halo 2 than I did in Halo 1. But near the end of Halo 2, I feel like I'm saying the same thing that happened in Halo 1, that I struggle. But Halo 2 feels like Halo 1 was like you discovering the Halo and escaping from the war. Which also leaves me with another question, really. Why wasn't Master Chief in Reach? I mean, he was there on the ship, and it felt like everyone knew of him. I mean, I'll go more about it after the video, but actually, I just feel like Halo 2, feel like all this terminal is going to be about the Covenant people. But I'll say everything I gotta say at the end. Anyways, let's start.
Pursuant to Officer
Vadmi, Supreme
Retrieval
Commander.
Acquisitions Inquiry of 26 September 2552. The following is a target profile of Vadmi, Supreme Commander of the Covenant Fleet of Particular Justice, compiled by Lieutenant Commander Locke. First confirmed contact with Vadmi came in 2535 on an unofficial human colony known as the Rubble. After-action reports from civilians, as well as Spartan Units 006, 111, and 120, suggest that Vadmi was at that point a relatively minor functionary of the Prophet of Regret. Spartan 006 engaged Vadmi in combat on the Rubble. Both parties survived the encounter.
Vadmi was the name Elite?
Shortly after 2535, the UNSC first encountered the newly formed...
Alright, where's the subtitle for this? Cause my dumbass... Okay.
Covenant Fleet of Particular Justice, now led by Vadmi.
Fatima? So there's like special elite Vadmi and Fatima?
Review of early engagements with this fleet showed that it quickly grew in size from 5 to nearly 60 ships as Vadmi cut a path in many human systems. Only Section 3 made multiple attempts to anticipate or even track Vadmi's...
Alright, I gotta rewatch this because I didn't understand what he was saying at the beginning. So what is Vadmi? Vadmi, Supreme Commander, Covenant Fleet of Particular Justice. Oh, it's a fleet. So, okay, so it's a fleet called the Vadmi. And they made first contact with humans, which in that little battle, they encounter Spartan 116, I think is what he said. Report compiled by Lieutenant Commander Jameson Locke.
Pursuant to Office of Oni Retrieval and Acquisitions Inquiry of 26 September 2552. The following is a target profile of Vadmi.
Delve Adam 2. Okay, these subtitles, I guess it's AI generated because I don't think that's what the word is. Or that could be right.
Supreme Commander of the Covenant Fleet of Particular Justice, compiled by Lieutenant Commander
Okay,
Locke.
so he's the leader of that one fleet.
Confirmed contact with Vadmi came in 2535 on an unofficial human colony known as the Rubble. After-action reports from civilians, as well as Spartan Units 006, 111, and 120, suggest that Vadmi was at that point a relatively minor functionary of the Prophet of Regret.
Oh.
Spartan 006 engaged Vadmi in combat.
So this was a small fleet because they didn't the Covenant didn't really need them at that point because they didn't think there was anything out there that could pose a threat. But after encounter with the Spartan 116,
after 2535,
they decided to
the newly formed Covenant
they decided to invest more into it to make it a bigger fleet. Goddamn ads.
New post-migraine nutrient mixes support head health and
Sorry for the ads, guys.
From Excedrin.
Okay, so this is like the somewhat funded, and then they became super funded.
Engagements with this fleet,
yeah, which became this.
Quickly grew in size from 5 to nearly 60 ships, as Vadami cut a path in many human systems.
Man, this thing is like 30 minutes long for just all terminals.
Only
like,
Section 3 made multiple attempts to anticipate or even track Vadami's movements, at the cost of a number of operatives' lives. Vadami eluded all such efforts, and he continued his unpredictable and devastating campaign.
To destroy humanity?
Vadami also stands out from other Covenant commanders in the frequency in which he takes a personal role in ground assaults.
Wait, is this the Arbiter? Is that his real name?
Camber was a major manufacturing center for UNSC fleet materials with a population.
God damn, humans went far.
Million.
Like, how many planets do we have?
After discovering Camber's location, Vadami penetrated the early warning perimeter without alerting UNSC forces and began his ground and orbital attacks before most of the planet knew they were in danger. While 17 of his ships bombed key defensive positions, Vadami led a group of elites in a personal assault on UNSC System HQ.
Wow, this dude is like top tier strategist.
One of the first units to engage Vadami was the 3rd Battalion Reserves, who were so unprepared for the arrival of the Covenant forces that Vadami found them unarmed and defenseless.
Uh-oh. A sword?
In an unexpected display of what appears to be honor, Vadami allowed the 3rd to finish gearing up before engaging them in combat. While we've had multiple reports of a strict system of honor and ritual behavior followed by the elites within the Covenant, this is the first recorded example of such honor being shown to human opponents. But even given the chance to defend themselves, 3rd Battalion...
You gotta give him props, though. He has the honor of a warrior.
Vadami continued his campaign across many human systems, culminating in his most devastating blow against the UNSC at Reach. Vadami's most recent and damaging blow to the
Yeah, I feel like this
UNSC
is all about
was
the
Reach.
Covenant people.
Oni has still not been able to fully determine how Vadami located the planet, and once again, he caught us completely by surprise when his forces arrived in orbit and on the ground.
How? Yeah. How is he?
Vadami is responsible for over 1 billion total casualties and the loss of at least 7 human planets.
Damn, 7 human
His
planets?
forces have defeated all UNSC counterattacks at the cost of 123 fleet vessels and over 23,000 personnel.
Yo, this guy is amazing.
And now with Reach lost, Oni and UNSC strategic AI report a 0% confidence that the Navy can...
Wait. Did he's... So I wasn't paying attention. Well, I mean, I somewhat was. Earlier, did he say that he's the one that led the attack on Reach?
Oni and UNSC strategic AI report a 0% confidence that the Navy can stop Vadami through traditional means. In the opinion of this investigator, Vadami is the most dangerous Covenant military asset on the field. It's common knowledge that the Covenant have a significant
makes me question. I guess their religion was way more important than this one valuable asset.
This is not the case for Vadami. We cannot predict what he'll do next. But given time, we fear he will dismantle all remaining UNSC strongholds. This agent's recommendation: immediate termination. If humanity wants to survive this war,
I feel like this is the Arbiter.
Do it with Vadami on the field.
So when does Master Chief comes in then? I thought he was already here before Reach, because everyone seems to know him. But then I have the question, like, why wasn't he during? Where was he during Reach? I know Halo War was a game before Reach, so did he get injured in Halo War and then he had to go into hibernation or something? Oh, so this is when we blew up the ring. Okay. Oh, hey, 343 sparks. I mean, he's just out there in space.
Unacceptable.
Is this... Didn't he catch a ride on that one dude's ship, the one Covenant ship, with the weird AI thing? Oh, I think he found it. I think this is where he's going. Is there clouds in outer space?
Glorious day.
Okay, so then this is like the ending in Halo Combat Evolved.
Violation of the Holy Temple.
Why do you keep calling it a temple? My installation was a weapon, and one which we needed very, very badly.
But Oracle, I do not understand. We were told the rings are salvation, a gateway to
salvation
paradise.
when you die.
Told? By whom? Anyone who told you that is a fool, or quite mad. That installation was a beautiful tool, designed to destroy everything the Flood might feed on.
Everything?
Oh, quite everything. And if even one Flood spore survived the destruction of my ring...
Communications. Shut down all lines to the fleet. We will not notify the prophets of our discovery until I hear everything this Oracle has to say.
I will gladly share what I am permitted, but we have little time. What has been unleashed here could destroy everything you have ever known.
On that, Oracle.
I was asking that question earlier. I was like, so what happened to the rest of the Flood? Because I'm like, the ring blew up, but from what I know and learn of the Flood, as long as one spore remains, unless they can't breathe out of space, but I'm assuming they can, they're just gonna float there in outer space and then infect other stuff, right? God damn these ads.
Your actions do not make sense. Proper protocol for a Flood outbreak is to establish immediate infection reporting. Communications must be maintained.
Alright, so this is the one I seen.
In order to track any spread.
Because I think I seen 7
There are no local
and 9, or 7, 8, 9.
Now, all you have is me.
Until you get killed by the Arbiter.
But I tracked multiple ships in orbit, including some remaining human presence. In light of the danger posed by the Flood, surely you can set aside this disagreement with the humans.
No. Anything still alive in orbit is our enemy. The humans have very good cause to kill us on sight.
I
And
mean,
the knowledge you've shared with me casts doubt on the entire
honestly, if
purpose
it
of
was
our
me,
covenant.
I would weigh my
If any of
options.
our ships remain above us,
Should I
they are
risk
not the
it,
help
like
you seek.
trying to do it all alone, or should I
But
take
why
a
would they not
gamble?
provide assistance?
Like,
because of this talk
at
of
this point, he knows
prophecies and
100% he will
I
get
learned a
killed
small amount about
by the
your
Covenant for
before
being
that
like
big
speaking
claim of my
heresy.
installation. But my understanding
While the
is
other
incomplete.
one,
The AI I
they
encountered
it's like a
aboard one of your
90%,
ships
80%.
was
Like
less than
it might
forthcoming.
or might not. He might not. The humans might not kill him.
What you need to know, Oracle, is that thousands of years ago, at the founding of our great covenant, a bargain was struck between the prophets and the elites.
Yep.
A bargain which I fear will be the end of us.
That they will help them journey to the great journey. Because they were enlightened by the High Council. I can't believe all their races like elites, grunt, brutes, hunters. Like I feel like that's just like their roles. It's not like their
Regarding
name of the
history
race.
of the Covenant and its glorious founding species, the Sanshayum and Sanghili, the record of punished deeds would not be sufficient without a word on the Arbiter.
Who's this?
Not the consignment of shame that it is currently, but what
Oh,
came
the High
before.
Council.
The legendary
What are they called?
warriors of
Council?
Sanghili past.
Their race was Council something. I don't remember the name. The Arbiter.
Long before the Covenant, the Sanghili ruled their world with pride and vigilance, surviving the perils of both land and sea.
They're like fucking Vikings.
These were the
That's so
arbiters
amazing.
role. Part king, part judge, warrior rulers, unlike any of which would follow.
God, look how they ruined your
When
race.
we arrived on their frontier world of Olgathon, the cost of life was severe. Led by a mighty arbiter, the Sanghili resisted our entreatment with ruthless force, leading to decades of war.
They sent them a council member's
We would
dead body.
eventually triumph, of course.
Oh, yep.
And when we did, we would not ignore the mantle of the Arbiter. Like all things, we would bend the Sangheili to our own ends. The Arbiters would become the very will of the Prophets.
Damn, look at that evil grin. So, okay, the race is not called Elite. It's called the Sangheili, or I feel like that's what it is, unless it's the name of the tribe. Because they seem primitive Vikings. So then they were enlightened about the religion and
Our
stuff.
holy arrangement put the prophets in
Because
charge
before it was
of
just like the
religion
way,
and technology.
war,
The elites led our
like
military
battle
forces
and all
to
that.
convert new species and find relics such as your halo.
and it's how they made becoming the Arbiter a shameful thing. Sangheili.
And these relics you sought, the San Shayum, your prophets, told you that they would lead you on this great journey?
Yes, transcendence, eternal life. Their promises were endless. We gave up our old ways to follow the prophet's lead on the great journey. Gave up all of our history, all of our traditions.
Not all of your traditions, it seems. This Arbiter you mentioned, hasn't that always been a position of power for your species?
Yep, and they
Power.
tarnished it.
It was long ago. An arbiter was once the pinnacle of our people, leader of the clans, and master of the battlefield. But then, an arbiter committed heresy, and an example was made of him.
Heresy?
He challenged the word of the prophets. Challenged and lost.
And the hunters, right? Where are these green or red eyes, purple eyes things?
So the title of Arbiter became a badge of shame for our most spectacularly failed warriors.
At that point, I think I said in the episode, they should just
They were
uprise against them.
manipulators.
They were kind of just like
Back
dumping
before
their
the fire
tradition
broke
and
away.
culture.
I see at least that hasn't changed.
Manipulators? What? And before?
Oh, they can
Before when?
stand?
I will explain later. Right now, I want you to tell me everything you can of these arbiters.
I just thought they were an old, feeble old man who has to stay in their wheelchair. Okay, it's this guy
Our
again.
holy city was not always as it is, nor was the Covenant. At one time, it was only San Shayum and Sangheili. But as we grew, and new species were added to our number, radical steps had to be taken.
So San
Our
Shayun
first encounter with the Let Go
is the
was
High
an
Council
effort
people,
in
right?
futility.
and Sangheili is the Covenant, and
The blasphemous
the elite
creatures
people.
had devoured a Forerunner orbital, shattering its remains into 1 trillion pieces. What was left became the Rings of Te,
Rings of Te?
as no conventional methods could purge the rings of their infestation.
The Flood?
We sent one of our most faithful, an Arbiter. For a full year, this Arbiter ventured across the surface of one of their moons, learning both their strengths and their weaknesses.
And the Flood?
It was there that we discovered the Let Golo's secret.
Oh, the Flood Worms?
Although some of their kind rightly bore the blame for the orbital's desecration,
Oh, well, no,
others
it's the
had only
Hunters.
devoured around the Forerunner materials. And with reasoning and much labor, these could be used to serve the Covenant. And by these means, the great Arbiter had given us one of our most sought-after treasures, access to innumerable processing pathways of the mighty Forerunner dreadnought, and to the many secrets it held.
Oh, so with the Hunters, it allowed them to use for the Forerunners technology, which I'm assuming it's the armor thing, the armor plating that we see hunters with nowadays. I should guess, because at the beginning they were like, oh, first there's only these two, the Sun Healy and the Sun Shora, and then we got other race joining us. So the next race was the hunters. So then we still have the grunts and the sniper people and the monkey people, right?
Oracle. Once one of our commanders becomes an arbiter, he belongs to the hierarchs.
These hierarchs, they are the same high prophets who control all the holy relics you collect from my time?
The same.
And they use these relics to build your new weapons and bring you the word of your gods?
It has always been so.
The relics.
Interesting. Am I a holy relic?
I do not understand.
He kind of stuttered there.
Because I am certainly not a god. I am a tool, as is this mining platform you stand upon, as was the installation that once orbited the planet. The Forerunners' technology is lasting and indeed quite powerful, but I'm quite certain they would have told me if I was infused with some kind of divine power. I suspect some of your prophets may have been quite aware of how much divine inspiration tools such as myself could provide. And you never questioned these proclamations. Even your mightiest warriors, these arbiters, never questioned?
I mean, if they did, they'll get killed or smited down.
Shame to the word arbiter long ago, Oracle.
How disappointing.
I fear now that there are many questions we should have been asking for a long, long time.
I would be more than happy to answer any such questions, but I have a few more for you. Continue your tale of these arbiters.
What's this? Him coming back? Coming home?
Whereas most
it's the High Council guy.
Into the Covenant by faith or mutual beneficence, the Ungoi were not such. Their kind was brought into the
What are those
by
grunts?
force,
Can't tell.
and it was
They all
by
have more or
force
less
that
the
they
same
were held
head type.
captive.
Kinda. Just different mouth.
Their world had no prayer against our might and majesty. And their peoples were
Oh, this is the
quickly
next
laid low.
race.
Many of them brought into
This
subjugation.
grunt? It is the grunt. They're just so
While
easy.
Some species would perish under such pressure. Others rise to the occasion, taking arms if need be.
The Vandals.
Back. Such it was for the Ungoi when their feud with the Kigyar led to rebellion. An effort by the Kigyar to sterilize the Ungoi population was met with stiff resistance. And for a time, the holy city was thrown into chaos.
Oh, the grunts.
Once fully provoked, the Ungoi were merciless in their violence, lashing out at all species.
Ungoi?
Their large numbers and their tenacious volatility made them a suitable challenge, even for the elites.
Are you serious? The grunts?
And yet again, we turned to an arbiter. And with a ferocity unparalleled since the beginning of the Covenant, the Ungoi world would be reduced to glass.
Oh, they got bombarded.
Those within the holy city would be forced to watch, unable to stop what could have been the very end of their kind.
I can't believe out of all the other race,
By the Arbiter's hand.
the grunt put up like the most resistant work. Oh my god, look at that. They had to
Their world
surrender.
was not completely lost, and those who survived within high charity found some measure of mercy. They had proven their worth in combat, and would now serve alongside the Sanghili in battle.
Can't believe they struggle the most with the grunts. The grunts. This is like low tier enemy. But I guess it's because they were like overwhelmed by like shitloads of cockroaches.
I'm starting to fear that you're not very smart.
Damn.
Mind your tongue, Oracle.
Oh, I mean no offense. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your species. How long have these prophets been anointing arbiters?
Since the fall of Falchavami, the first disgraced arbiter, roughly 400 years ago.
Incredible. And in all this time, it never occurred to you how convenient it was that your prophets were able to find a powerful, capable leader among your people, who happened to suddenly commit a terrible blasphemy every time the power structure of your covenant was threatened.
I do not understand.
You do
They were
little
set
to
up.
dissuade my fears.
Set up. That's what I was saying. When he was marked Arbiter, I was like, this is so suspicious. Like, they can just get rid of him once he finished whatever they're gonna do.
How so?
Each of them had significant political influence among your people. In some cases, that influence was already being used to question the decisions of your hierarchs. In fact, that very questioning often gave rise to the charges of heresy that so neatly removed the challenger from the hierarch's concern.
And once they were branded Arbiter,
They promptly and quite cheerfully ran to meet their deaths.
Yep.
all our lives we look down at the path, put our feet where the prophets tell us. All our lives spent convincing ourselves of the truth of our covenant. Could all of it truly have been wasted?
Let's hope not all of it, for we have a great deal of work to do. The flood is still out there, so I require a cooperative reclaimer to enact proper containment procedures. But your covenant keep trying to kill all the reclaimers I can find. All this bickering is quite a deadly waste of time. Right now, the most important question we can ask is this. Who could break this hold the prophets have over you?
Brave mind. Oh god. It's like a horror movie. See, I said this last time too, it's like, all it takes is just one. It's like at the end of a horror movie, you see one piece of the monster was still alive, and then it's like foreshadowing for a part 2 or second movie or sequel baiting or whatever.
Get rid of unwanted distractions with Magic Eraser and
So it took Gravemind to enlighten the Arbiter.
Is one of both legend and infamy. Their name has been corrupted by great shame, though the contemporary is perhaps the most confounding of all. Thelvadami was born of noble blood, the legendary House of Vada. His family's renown demanded great expectations for his military career, and he would meet them all.
Damn, so he was like a noble. Yo, why isn't this guy the main character? He has a main character backstory.
One of the youngest to achieve the status of shipmaster, and one of the youngest to gain the rate of supreme commander. In our campaign against the humans, few have risen to renown as Vadami. World after human world, all laid low for the sake of the great journey. But then
All the planets they're destroying.
shame unto shame. He failed his greatest charge, and the sacred ring was desecrated. By such disgrace, Thelvadami became the Arbiter. As a mere scribe, I do not challenge the word of the hierarchs, but I would be remiss not to voice concern. This Sanghili should have been put down.
Exactly.
Publicly slain as an example to all of our prayerful expediency.
And in the end, it bite them in the ass.
With the discovery of a second ring and the changing of the guard, all things are in jeopardy. Will this Arbiter remain loyal? Or will he stand with his people as they are abolished by our newfound might? I would never openly challenge the divine proclamations of a hierarch, but this Arbiter is a risk I would not have tolerated. And I now fear the days of the Covenant are numbered.
So is this them discovering the monkey people, the brutes? Because they have to be recent, right? Wait, no. Were they there in Halo 1? I don't think they were.
I would trust with this information is probably dead right now. He was commander of the fleet that brought me to the system. Thelvadami was his name.
Oh, what
After
coincidence.
hearing you tell of the destruction of the ring, I cannot believe that he still lives. His orders were to secure the ring.
Ah, he had
prepare it for the
he had a
arrival of
majestic
the
cape too.
Hierarchs. Vadami never fails in his duties. If the ring is no more, then Vadami must be dead.
Duty can indeed be a dangerous virtue. But even if he did live, wouldn't this sense of duty make him quite unlikely to set aside his allegiance to the prophets?
Perhaps not. And he would never betray our people. No, if we were able to just speak to him, explain everything you have told me.
Oh, so he became a martyr.
No, these are futile hopes. If he did live, and if he was returned to the High Prophets, they would most certainly punish him for the destruction of the ring.
They could also, they made him an arbiter.
He would be the exact kind of leader the Hierarchs would make arbiter.
Yep.
They would need someone to blame for the loss of the ring.
Yep.
His influence within the fleet grew with every one of his victories over the humans.
And if he did become arbiter?
Then he would be lost to our cause. Without the knowledge you've shared with me.
Did this
he
guy
would
set
obey
up
the
everything?
prophets without question.
This elite?
I doubt.
Because from the way it's happening, if he becomes arbiter, then he will be tasked to track down heretics, or right, that goes against their religious order. Because because right now he has cut off all comms, communications, so then no one would know that he knows about the truth, so they won't go after him. But he said there's only one person he trusts, so he's going to take a risk, open comms, and tell everyone of the truth, even though he knows everybody else won't believe him. But in doing so, he'll grab the attention of the High Council, which will then order the Arbiter to come and assassinate him, which will give him the chance to talk to the Arbiter so he can relay the information, and while also showing him the proof that their god, quoting my fingers, 343 Sparks, is not a god, and that he can tell him the information of what the truth of what Halo actually is, a weapon of mass destruction, right? Because that's what happened, kind of. But before 343 could finish explaining, monkey guy, Tartarus, came in and sucked him with his stupid ass hammer before he could get it, before he could finish. But that was like, he told him enough that he somewhat knows, but it didn't make that much of a difference until he got more information, which persuaded him to flip. So this dude had a 5D chess move plan to get the Arbiter to flip. Is what they're saying?
He would even respond to his former name. I don't know what it would take to overcome, but as you say,
there's a
we
chance.
don't have time to ask such questions, and Vadami is almost certainly dead.
If all your hopes rest on him, then I fear for the future of this galaxy.
As do I, Oracle. As do I.
Little did he know.
But I will begin our fight. Make others aware of the lies the prophets whisper in our
So he
ears.
became a martyr.
Soon, we will find more who will take up
Too
our
bad he didn't get to
cause.
live to see it. Well, that was a lot interesting. So we got more to know about the elites, or the Sanheli, and then the Sansura, which is the High Council people. And slowly, Halo looked at different. Let's ignore that. And how the Covenant, which is sort of just an alliance of people who want to achieve one objective, which is the Great Journey, them technically brainwashing the other race into believing this great journey, or this this path of life or whatever. So they got the Sanheli, which was like a Viking barbaric race of olden time, and then they weren't agreeing, so then they bombed them, kinda, right? So then they like, okay, we'll surrender. So then after that, what was it? Oh, one of the ring was obliterated or something. or was it a moon? So then they sent the Arbiter to go check it out, which was just these worms, which was the hunters. So then they're like, we could use this for one of the Forerunner technology, which I'm assuming is the armor. So that's how they got the hunters to join. And then I think I got mixed up with the Vandals or the Grunts. But one of them was really easy. I'm assuming it's the Vandals. I couldn't see clearly. So they were extremely easy to or they were easy to conquer or easy to persuade. But then they struggled with the Grunts because there's just so many of them. And they went like, oh, we ride or die together. So then they all started going. But then they started doing scorch earth tactic, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, when Ozai had to come and start burning everything. So then the Grunts, they were like, oh shit, okay, let's surrender because the rest of our planets doesn't flip. So then that's how they joined. So then at the end of that one, it's like the Brute, the Arbiter trying to attack the Brutes or flip them, or was that just him who has a Ray flip and was gonna attack the Brutes? Because things, I mean, it's their fault technically. They shouldn't have switched the guards out, because doing that they lost the trust of the elites. They should have just established hey, instead of replacing the entire guards, let's just add a second group of guards. Let's make this the elite squad, and then have this the monkey squad, and then we can have them both guarding us. I mean, there's a shitloads of them. Have Tartarus as the leader of that side, and then name an elite for the leader of the other side. So then they can have some kind of rivalry to see who can protect the High Council better. That'll make them. I mean, that will improve not skill set. That could improve them, because then they will learn, or not, or they could just fight and duke it out or whatever. So that was a mistake. The Arbiter, I don't know. I wouldn't have known that he would flip, honestly. But eventually, I mean, it's kind of their fault, because it's they've been doing this strategy constantly over and over. I mean, that's pretty ignorant of them to be surely no one will ever question this, that the most influential, or whatever the word, political elite will become the Arbiter. No one would question it. And then it happens, and then he flipped. So then they're like, oh shit, we fucked up. And then which got two of the council dead. I mean, one was just terrible guarding, because I mean, that squirmy worm thing just popped up and just choked his neck. While the other one, he got his ass beat on his wheelchair. So, yeah, I feel like this is Arbiter, the game. It's not Master Chief. The Arbiter gameplay was certainly much better, mostly because of Invisi. I mean, at the start, I was like, oh man, I feel like they should have make a way to make the two characters more diverse. One has Invisi, one doesn't. Because I'm so spoiled from playing Reach. We had running, that super armor ground thing that I rarely ever use, the hologram. I think we have invisible too, right? And jetpack, right? There was another one maybe. With all these abilities. And then we had one where we didn't have any of those abilities, and I was like, god damn, this shit's so difficult for some of the missions. And then the one mission where you guys said, oh, that mission is super hard, and I was like, well, not exactly. That mission was probably the easiest for me out of all the other missions. And then we got to the flood ones, and I was like, god damn. But that happened. But at least I didn't get one shot the majority of the time. In this game, you get one shot a lot. You take a sniper to the back, you're dead. You take a sniper to the front, you're no shield, and one shot, you're dead. You take a shotgun from any of the flood, you're dead. You take a shotgun from the back, you're dead. Take a melee from the back, you're dead. The sword from the front, you're fine. You can survive with no shield. From the back, you're dead. especially with the map. I feel like the map is slow, like refreshing. So sometimes I'm like, where is he? Where is this guy? Where's he coming from? And then they just disappear off the map. It's like I'm playing against PvP where people just crouch down, stop moving, and then they're not on the map no more. Like, do you remember the alleyway where I'm like, where the hell are these guys shooting me from? Like, the map is saying they're nowhere, but then if they barely move a little bit, it shows up. But if they just stand still, they don't. So, one-shotting, I feel like was a lot in this one. While the Halo 1 is more like me getting overwhelmed by so much enemy. Although, they had that in this game too, more towards the end, like, is that one part where the tunnel where you have to go through and there's like it's like 3 ghosts, 4 vandals, more monkeys. That was one. And then I think the Master Chief Call of Duty moment one where I had to run in a circle because there's so many of them and I couldn't go down, and there was like the flood coming from the side while there was monkey on the other side and barely any cover. So I had to stay on this side, but then the floods will come and melee me or shotgun me, instant kill me. So it's like, that was terrible. And plus, I didn't have that many good guns at that point. I think I had like a shotgun with like 4 shots left. And I think a beam rifle, which had like 30 or something. And it takes like usually 2 to 3 or 4, depending on the monkey, if they're wearing a helmet or not, to kill them. So yeah, that was... But honestly, I think I had more fun in Halo 2 than in Combat Evolve. And it was also great learning the Arbiter story. That's why I said, like, this is probably the like, Master Chief is probably not the main character in this, but the Arbiter. But yeah, venturing into next, it's Halo 3 ODST, because I'm going in order, which was Wars, Reach, 1, 2, ODST, 3, 4, and then and then I believe there's Spartan Assault in after one of the 3s, and then we have 3 or 4, and then we have Halo Wars 2. But after Halo 4, I'll probably stop the Halo series. Because there's no Halo 5, and so I don't want to jump into Infinite until Halo 5 comes out, if it ever comes out. Or maybe I'll get an Xbox in the future or something. But I guess we'll see. But yeah, looking forward to ODST. So maybe we'll get to know more about the Grave Mine. Either he's trying to kill himself or he just wants more information or something. Cortana's still there with him. Ooh, the High Council's still heading off to Earth. And the Arbiter is with Johnston and whatever her name is. And Master Chief being a Master Chief badass. But yeah, this was a fun series. More funner than Halo 1. Can't tell you about Halo Reach because that was me being blind, not knowing anything about Halo except for Master Chief and Cortana. So I feel like my opinion or experience with that game is pretty like not unstable, unsure kinda, because like I didn't know a lot. I wonder if I play it again now, how will I feel about it, knowing like how to play. So yeah, so if I had to rank it so far, I think I'll rank Halo Reach on the top for more emotional, even though I didn't cry. I did get sad when George died though, and some of the like I'm gonna die as a warrior moment, like with it's not Carson, right? I forgot the leader's name, or Emil. So yeah, but yeah, for emotional story, I feel like Reach is up there. For the gameplay, I can't really tell you. It was fluid, but like for my overall experience, I feel like Halo 2 is definitely up there, and then Halo 1's at the bottom because of the fucking flood. It's just so terrible. But yeah, on the C3. Anyways, thanks for watching. Love you guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time in Halo 3 ODST. Hopefully, it'll be maybe, since this one was about Arbiter, maybe 3 ODST is about Chief. Maybe. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. See ya.